actually knew Dr. King and was a close confidant. He ran for president in 1968, and we know the story. But most importantly, in all his achievements, the most important thing, we can call him our friend and our brother. Yes. Having said that, let me introduce to you and present to others our Grand Marshal, Honorable Dick Gregory. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Let me say peace and love. Thank you, praise God, for all made it here safely. I pray to God that your return and my return will be equally safe. As we walk today, just think about what this movement was about. The fact that we have to look at NBC and CBS, the New York Times and the Washington Post, who ain't never told you the truth. When you stop and think about a white woman in America didn't get the right to vote till 1921, and she came over on the boat with that boy. When you think about a white woman with a PhD makes 87 cents on the dollar compared to a white man today. All right. They the ones that should have the movement, but they've been put to sleep. And you black folks have to understand one thing. Yes, sir. You're mad at the wrong white folks. White ain't a color, it's an attitude. All right. And if you ain't got trillions of dollars in the bank, you can't have the attitude. Queen Elizabeth make $360 million every 24 hours just interest on her money. It's a game. And that's what King and that's what this movement went up against. And you got to stop letting people dictate to you what your problems are. The problem in America, in the black community, ain't no black woman at home. Hitler had a mother at home and a daddy. Queen Elizabeth make that kind of money, live in a palace with a husband, and you can't find no more trifling children than her. Old Kate Millerton, he was in the hospital for morning sickness. Have 10 children. You don't go to the hospital with morning sickness. That's a drug overdose. But that's how they protect one another. And so as we march today, think about the universal order. And that's very important. When they opened up the King Monument on the mall, it was supposed to open up on August 28th. Y'all remember that? Then an earthquake came. And they opened it up on October the 16th. That's the same date that John Brown led the raid on Harper's Ferry. When you look at that monument, you see that Indian on the top. Abraham Lincoln put that there. And the festivities for the opening of that was December the 2nd, the same day they hanged John Brown. So when you stop and think about today, two strange things happen today. And when you understand there's another order, it ain't the church. That's no problem with that. But there's a universal order. Now when you understand that, then things change. And when you stop and think about what we were able to do with this movement under the leadership of King and the NAACP. So when you stop and think as you march, it's very significant. Wouldn't no black person be in that White House today if it wasn't for the movement.
That's right. That's right.
Jimmy Lee Jackson is the cause that he's there, and most folks ain't never heard of him.
That's right.
He went to try to register the vote, and they wouldn't let it. And he called SCLC, and James Orange came down because King and them was out the country. And they said they're not going to let them kill James Orange. He was in jail. So they organized and went to the jail just to sing church songs. And then the police showed up. Turned out shot all the street lights out. These were church folks, not thugs and hoodoo. And y'all got to stop all this crap about violence in the black community. That's a game they play. They spray lead and manganese in your community every night. You think you so damn spiritual, you don't even know. You think it's you. Black folk can't get a good thing of Kool-Aid. How you think they get guns bigger than the police? And you silly enough to believe that that's you. So since your spiritual stuff don't work, maybe you should tune into the big one. Huh? They talk about what we do in our community. What about the Muslims, Nation of Islam? Huh? They don't smoke, they don't drink. But you think reapers is a gift from God to you? Go ahead and think it if you want to. But none of us in the movement needed instant gratification. We was looking at it. Looking at it. Y'all running around talking about black on black crime. What is black on black? And you white folks got to listen to black folks a little more. They say, well, we just tired of black folk killing black folks. Now, if I was white, that would scare me. They didn't say we tired of black folk killing. We tired of killing black folks. Who be left? If you go to China tonight, who you think killing Chinese in China? Go to Italy tomorrow, who you think killing Italians in Italy? In America, 98% of all white folks that's murdered last year was murdered by white folks. If they ain't talking about white on white crime, how they trick you into talking about black on black? So somewhere, as we march, just listen to that beat inside. And think about this movement. Nobody in the history of the planet had a movement where they moved in and killed everybody. When they killed Jesus, they didn't mess with his disciples. They killed everybody in the movement, and they want to ask you what's wrong. So as we march today, and think about this brother. To you young folks, imagine one day you grown and you married and you get a phone call and you hear a voice say, "We fixing to blow up your house, nigga." And you can't call the police or the FBI because they probably the ones made the call. Think what we went through there. Huh? And you think Washington, D.C., before this movement, you couldn't gather here like this without cops being all around you. Matter of fact, when we came here for the March on Washington, 63, our friend was the president, Kennedy. They had 7 divisions of military troops surrounding this thing because they couldn't believe anybody that's been treated for as long as we have could be peaceful. So as we leave and we march today, let's quiet your spirits and think about it. I mean, we sitting in rallies like this, we just talk words within them but bullshit. I think about how many of you black folks have never, you take your children to Disneyland to see a rat, but they've never been to King's Grave. And had he not died, you wouldn't be welcome. You live here in this town, you black folks have more. You could have got a crowd 7 blocks more if this was something about the Washington Redskins. But to come out and march and talk about your right to vote, we can't find it. That's what this is about. You send your children to war to kill somebody you don't know, then a cop shoot your mom in the back 40 times and you ain't marching. All right. All right. So just quiet your spirit and think about that movement. Before this movement, a white woman couldn't fly a commercial airline. A white woman couldn't be a mechanic at the airport. A white woman couldn't be a sky captain. The only thing they would let her do was be a stewardess, and she had to look like something off the center page of Playboy magazine. And because of this movement, you go to the airport today and get on a plane, and you see an old, short, fat, ugly white steward. We got her that job, not her brother. We got her that job.
Yeah.
So as we leave today, think about what we were able to do with no meanness, no bitterness, no guns. I look at black folk now worried about they fixing to take your gun. You ain't had no gun. They got a satellite out there that can blow up every gun in everybody's house. That's what America's about, the real way. So as we walk, think about love of yourself. Think about what you're able to do when you come together like this. And finally, who would ever believe the first black president, through some fluke, his inauguration would be the same day to celebrate the king?
All right.
Again, we say thank you, thank you, all the folks that put this together for this day. Thank you.
Big Gregory.
All right.